I wrote that on the day I got sentenced, 2 separate family members told me to take care of my demons. So I knew that I was right where I was supposed to be. And I'd been through the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'd been through Growing Kids God's Way. I'd been through Bible studies and Timothy discipleships, and I knew how to fill everything out. I knew how to answer the questions for you. What did you want to hear, teacher? What did you want to hear, ex-wife? What did you want to hear, mom? I never looked inside of me. And the curriculum for this course had me look at stuff, and no one cared if I did the work. Right? I mean, they cared, but they weren't in trouble. No consequences. But I wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote, and I dealt with any demons I had. And believe me, my life isn't bad. But I learned that I looked at life different than other people, that I took for granted the gifts I've been given. And through that program, it was a year, and I had 13 months to go when they started the program. And because of the I had 14 months, because of the program I got a month off. But then I got some more time off. And so I got done with that program 7 days before I got out of prison. I was empty inside. I knew how to build stuff. I'm building water slides. I'm doing wild waters in the island water park. We're doing stuff. But inside, personally, I was just done. The marriage wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I wasn't even sure how to be a husband. I have kids graduating high school. I have daughters getting married, and I just started drinking. In 2007, I quit drinking again because there's some incidences that happened, and my wife and I have 25 years, we divorced. And we were separated and the divorce proceedings started. And we reconciled, not the marriage, but reconciled as co-parents. And I lived at one end of the house and she lived at the other end of the house. And from 2007 to 2012, I went to Alcoholics Anonymous and I went to church, and I thought I'd develop a relationship with God. But really what I was doing was not drinking, behaving, and just doing a lot of work. I mean, doing a lot of work, building another company to the point I got 76 employees up and down from one state to the other, from one end of the state to the other, from the ocean to the desert, from Mexico to Oregon. We were shipping cabinets in from Utah. Anybody brought cabinets into California, we put them in. And I've been sober for a solid 5 years, and I drank again. And I drank again, and at this time, Gabrielle left. And this time I wasn't, don't come back. I didn't want her to come back. I said, go, here's money, whatever you need, don't come back. And for 2012, well, really about 2014 or so, I quit working. I quit working and didn't want to work. I had enough money, I didn't have to, but I drank. And I drank, and I drank. And I was trying to kill something. I had no idea what was missing. But I just know when I wasn't drinking, I didn't feel right. But when I was drinking, I didn't feel right either. So nothing was good. And then, it doesn't matter what it was, but one night I committed a crime. I committed a crime, and because I was drunk. And no one was hurt or anything like that. It wasn't a violent crime or anything like that. But I thought because I was drinking and taking prescription pills, it's an excuse. And that was in 2014. And I was arrested, and I stayed on bail. I was a very arrogant man. I had no humility. And I stayed on bail until 2017. I'm on bail, nothing. I'm telling my attorney, nothing's going, I'm not going to go to jail. I'm not going to do this. And I went around the corner. My family was there. They're all, the ex-wife and my children. And my children are grown. I had 2 minors at that time. And I looked at them, and something changed at that moment. Something changed. And I've never told anybody this. And I told my attorney, I said, you know, I'm guilty of this. I said, listen, I don't want to hurt my family anymore. You know, that day, God really intervened because I started changing. And it was May 18th, and I had to turn myself into prison on August 1st of 2017. And I have real good support. I have my brothers and my mom and my children. And through the divorce, I'd gotten custody of my children. They lived with me. They had chosen to live with me. And so you can imagine the patriarchal family, the big Clovis coach, the dad, building all this stuff, money just everywhere, and that my behavior became embarrassing. But on that day, I didn't worry about anybody else, except I didn't want to hurt anybody. And from May 18th to August 1st, as I prepared to go away to state prison, I met these amazing people through Clovis Hills Church, and God just lined things up. And I met these men that been to the Salvation Army, got sober, and they've made it, and they've been to prison, they've been back, and these men, I didn't have any idea. It just, because I met one man, Todd Harris, that's a pastor at Clovis Hills, introduced me to this man, and this man introduced me to this man, and then it was time to go. And I turned myself into prison, and I told my mom and I told my brothers, I said, I will do anything that I can to make myself better. I got sentenced to 6 years. 6 years in prison, and I had a chance to get probation, and I didn't get probation. And I remember my heart went, oh, I didn't know anything about prison and everything, but I grew up in a rough neighborhood, so it's like, oh, I've been a rough guy my whole life, but I don't want to be a rough guy anymore. The day I got sentenced, I called my brother from the payphone inside the jail, and he says, Mark, deal with your demons. And we all got our stuff in childhood. We all got our stuff, and I don't know that I have anything. And then I called my third daughter, Lauren, and she says, Dad, while you're in there, deal with your demons. Like 2 people told me the same thing. I'm like, did you talk to your uncle? And she said, no. I said, okay. So I go back to, I go get shipped off to the state prison system, end up going to Avalon State Prison. And I told my mom, I'm going to make use of everything. I'm listening and I'm paying attention because I'm smart. I have a good basic education, and I'm listening. And I'm writing 22 forms. And Fresno State Project Rebound, on the first yard I went to, these former incarcerated people are coming into the prison, and they're working with inmates. They're working with inmates to show them how to do irrigation, how to do construction stuff that I know how to do. I'm watching this, and I'm watching these grown men, these convicts, people that have been in prison a lot longer than I've ever been in prison, and they're going to school. And I got put in this yard that was just so neat. And these people are focusing on, and not everybody, but the majority of where God had me go, these men wanted to change their lives, and they're getting part of these programs. So I'm watching this Project Rebound, I'm watching these men go to school. So I got put on another yard. I wrote, and I said, hey, I know how to do this. I know how to build cabinets. I know how to measure. I know how to, so these rudimentary skills that I have gave me a job in prison where I got to go outside the fence every day. And I didn't realize, I was going to do half-time. So the maximum I was going to have to do if I stayed out of trouble was 3 years. So on the Saturday, there was been this flyer going around about a group coming in called GRIP. It was called Guiding the Rage into Power. And so I went in, and the man, there was a former incarcerated person that had gone to college up in the Bay Area. And he's a social worker. And in his presentation, there's 300 of us in the gym, and only 30 of us are going to go to this group. And his presentation was, and he's just an old Chicano Mexican dude, and he goes, and if you got demons, we'll take care of your demons here if you get in this program. And so I go, demons? I go, demons. So I wrote that on the day I got sentenced, 2 separate family members told me to take care of my demons. So I knew that I was right where I was supposed to be. So I come back to Clovis. My mother picks me up and I come back here. I have a home and my children are here. And through this process, I've reestablished relationship with my children. But I had expectations about how things were going to be. Oh, it's going to be this way, this and that, because I've done all these groups and I've written and I feel fresh. And I learned how to pray and I learned to have a relationship. And I had men come alongside me in prison and say, hey, Mark, go make the most of your life. And this Fresno State, this Project Rebound kept coming back in. And all these men are going to school. I said, you know what? And I have so many groups, I couldn't go to school in prison. So I said, you know, when I get out, I'm going to see about going to school. I've never been interested in going to school, but I've always been able to build. So I got out of prison on a Tuesday. I went back to my Celebrate Recovery group that night. And I got out of prison in July. It's 220 days ago today. And it was July 3rd. And classes started August 12th. And so I went to Project Rebound. They said, you can't come to Fresno State because I didn't have a high school diploma. And so I started taking classes at Fresno City. I didn't have a computer. I didn't know how to navigate the catalog. So my brother, who is now a woodshop teacher for high school in Los Angeles, was on his computer on our website here at Fresno City, and I'm in the library. And we were picking classes, and I picked my classes, my first semester classes, by what time of day were they, so I could work, because I don't know anything else but working. So I took a health science class, 2 of those, they were both short term. I took photography, 17, and that, not even knowing that there's photography 5, 6, up to 7. I don't even know there's an order. And I took human sexuality, sexology, 25. And I took theater appreciation. And in that first semester of school, the staff on our campus was just so caring and so informative. The students, the people I met, I don't walk around and tell people my story. I can't believe I'm telling my story right now. But it was such a beautiful experience, and the information I got in High Psych 25 about relationships, to go through health science and the drug and alcohol counseling. And I realized I didn't want to be a drug and alcohol counselor. I realized I didn't know a lot about relationships. I had such a good time in photography. It's like, it's all I wanted to do. My favorite class. And I got my lowest grade there. I have a 3.25 grade point average. I got a C in photography. And I spent the most time with it, but it gave me a way to reconnect with my children. And my mother. And because of the photography class, I have beautiful pictures of my family. And we have a relationship. During this time, I'm having to work part-time, and I got a job at the campus. They hired me on campus to do building maintenance, the building services department. But I'm doing handyman work. People started, one person referred me, and I told one person my story. I said, I've been out of prison for this, and I'm like bubbling over with joy. And the person that referred me goes, Mark, you told her? I said, yeah. He goes, are you nuts? I said, well, that's what God told me to tell her. So I just told my story because I told the truth. That one job, I went and fixed a toilet for a family that has an autistic son. And I have not advertised or anything. And for 6 months, I have worked every week just by word of mouth, because God's gave me a gift of using my hands. But I'm learning how to use my mind, and I'm majoring in social work, and I'm going through the assessment center at school to make sure when I want to get a master's. And then, so maybe I can turn around and I can help other people and say, hey, just because you can build something, maybe you have another talent over here you can do to help people. And I believe that life is about helping people. It's not about money. I've made a lot of money, but it's about the relationships and the time that you spend on the way. And to the point that brings me right here today, that I was able to not think about this. I didn't know I was going to do this today. And I said a prayer and said, God, let me say what you want me to say. And that's my story, so I don't get to change it. But I can tell you that I've been sober since July 29th of 2017. And if you would have told me that my life could get this good, sometimes I feel like my chest is beating so happy, that my heart's going to jump out and do a happy dance, because my life has never been better.